Hello, welcome to Tip of the Week. So today we're going to look at tables. Tables are very powerful, and there is no way we're going to get through every detail of a table. But as I mentioned, they're a way to create dynamic references, so that way your table will grow and shrink to the size of your data, and it gives you the ability to do some really powerful things. So we're just going to first show how to make a table, then we're going to show how that table behaves, and there's a new sort of reference that you'll have to learn in order to use tables if you want to do certain things with them. So let's just dive right in. So this information here is what Excel normally refers to as a range. So it's just normal data that you've seen before. What Microsoft found is that people were using this powerful calculation software that they developed, and they were, number one, using it like a database, and number two, they were using it in a way to do such calculations that were intensive, and people didn't want to have to go back and redo every single time they got new batches of data. So they came up with a function for tables. So to make a table, you would either select all of the data in that table or just click somewhere in that range. And then if you do insert and table, and Excel does a pretty good job of guessing where the table is. So you just have to make sure that it did. And we see that it did select it here, so that's the right where it needs. And my table does have headers, as you can see. So I'm going to let Excel do its thing. So the first dead giveaway that this is now a table is that it's now formatted it. So you could see that Excel also tells me it's a table because I have a new menu up here. And I can now change the format. So in order to make it regular format, I can go back to light. And if I, for some reason, don't want this to be a table anymore, I can switch it back. You see this button, convert to range. So convert to range. Yep. And so now, see, it's not a table anymore. Now let me show you something that is particularly irritating if you run into it, and so you'll know what to do. So I converted this to a table, and it went with all the formatting. But let's not change the format back to light or none, as this actual setting is. And let's convert this back to a range. So you see that this formatting didn't go away. Okay, so now let's convert this to a table again. And I can't change any of the formats anymore because when I converted it to a range, I had those values in there. So now all of this formatting data is hard-coded into every cell. So if you ever have a table and you want to convert back to a range, it's very recommended to switch it back to the light version, the none here up in the top left, so that way that doesn't happen to you. So it's pretty annoying. All right, so let's go back to that table. And then we'll see here, we have all this stuff. So what do I mean by some calculations? So if I want to do the sum here, so equals sum, let's say I want to do all of these values, I want to do the sum. So the first thing is you'll see these weird formulas now. So first it says table 4, so that's the name of my table right now, and then value, so that's the header. So what that's telling me is that I want to sum everything that is underneath the value header, the header that's called value. So cool. So that gives me the ability to do that. And as you can see here, if I do 7 and let's say 3200, 107, 2015, and let's just do 30. And you can see here that the sum is automatically updated. So the table, as it grows and shrinks, you're just going to be able to do all kinds of cool things and have your calculations update automatically. The one last final thing that I want to make sure that you realize is leaving this name table 4 is not good practice. So instead of just letting it call it table 4, you really want to go into the table menu and change the name of your table. So it doesn't seem like a big deal now, but if you have a bunch of tables in your worksheet that you're working with, you really want to know what it is. So I'm just going to call this data for now, but you would want to put some sort of descriptive name here so that when you're referring to it later on, or if you have a formula with it in it, you know where it's coming from. It just makes life easier for you and the person that has to open your file after you later. So thanks for watching, and see you again next time.